There's two islands at the north end of the Strait of Hormuz, Keshem Island and
So this is Matt Bracken last Friday on InfoWars. I believe it was the third or fourth hour. And he breaks down, explains what he thinks with his military analysis would be the attack plan, what's off limits, what would be a suicide mission, and where we could attack.
Rock Island. And you have to, if you're on a ship leaving the Persian Gulf, you have to coordinate with Iran and drive between those two islands in that narrow little gap, nice and slow, where they can talk to you and look at you with binoculars. So people will say, well, Matt, the Marines are coming. They can take those islands. Keshem Island is bigger than Okinawa. Okinawa was a 3-month battle in 1945, the spring of 1945. 12,000 American troops died taking Okinawa in 3 months. Keshem Island is more rugged than Okinawa. There's 1 million people living on it. We are not going to be able to open the Strait of Hormuz. We would have to carpet bomb 1,000 nuclear bombs all the way across the bottom of that. You know, the people, I think, just don't really understand the scale of things. You can put up number 3. It's called Iran and Vietnam. It's the gold-colored maps. That's it. South Vietnam is 1/10 the size of Iran. We had 500,000 troops in Vietnam in 67 and
500,000 troops in an area that's 1/10 the size of Iran.
68 at the height. 500,000 troops. That little part of Iran that I shaded is the size of South Vietnam. And we think that we're going to send 5,000 Marines and make a dent in that they can have thousands and thousands of missiles and drones. And if somehow we had a magic discombobulator that turned off drones deep down in caves, they would be able to fire torpedoes that are already underwater. There are sea mines that launch themselves from the shore. We can blow up everything we can see, and it won't make a difference. If people say, well, Matt, you can't compare World War II. Our weapons are so much better. This is sophistry. This is sophomoric. This is really foolish. In warfare, I don't care if you're talking about, the Greeks and the Spartans, the sword and the shield evolved in tandem, the offense and the defense. Sometimes there's a jump ahead, like the machine gun coming out, and maybe some people are still trying a cavalry charge, so they get slaughtered. But in essence, the sword and the shield evolved together. At this point, we're kind of back to World War I, where even in Ukraine, nobody can just do a blitzkrieg, and cover 100 miles with an armored column. The Schwarzkopf thing, that is over. That's done. So if we're going to send ships through the Strait of Hormuz, it's going to be a shooting gallery. That if we go to war with Iran, the world economy is going to crash because we'll have effectively put a tourniquet around our neck, which is also known as hanging yourself. The amount of stupidity that I see, mainly in comments on X, which I take as kind of representative when you see like 10% of people have the same kind of idea. Well, we don't need no oil. America's oil independent. So screw the rest of the world. If they all starve in the third world because they didn't get fertilizer, they didn't get oil to run anything, who cares? America will just do fine. This is a really pretty stupid idea because, number one, the entire world is blaming us for this. This is why our NATO partners are saying, hell no, we won't go, to President Trump. This is not a NATO war. Number one, it's nowhere near the North Atlantic, obviously, but we didn't consult them. We did this with Israel. Marco Rubio has said it. Trump has said it verbatim at least twice. That we did it because of Israel. Period. Joe Kent is absolutely right to say that stating the truth that this is a war for Israel. That's where we had negotiated on Thursday.
So Bracken is on the boat, as many people are, that this is a war for Israel by the Zionists who have infiltrated the president. And so that's what he's getting into.
Friday. See you on Monday.